What is going on, guys? So today we're gonna go over my 2002 Ford Ranger. I've had this thing since I was 16. I'll be 25 this year. It's kind of been a on and off ongoing project. Bought it right when I was 15 and a half, then started driving it to high school and ended up starting to kind of build the truck over the past 4, 5, 6 years or so. And then it kind of just, life happened and we kind of just stopped building it. So I think what the series is going to be about is building the truck kind of from the ground up, using some of the stuff that's here and then getting rid of a majority of the stuff or upgrading it. Basically right now the combination is just a 4.0 SOHC out of a 97 Explorer with a Colhane built C4. Got the ECM done by Juanco a couple years back, so it's got their race tune, I think, in it, if I remember correctly. And then front end is basic. I wouldn't say basic, but it's got a Blitzkrieg race kit on it. 2525 coilover bypass setup on it, so nothing crazy. It was a good combination for what it was, but I think it's time that we're gonna bring more knowledge that I have now. Been welding and doing fabrication for a lot longer now and actually own my own business, so it's kind of more like a side project on the weekends. So without further ado, I'm going to shoot some videos for you guys, kind of show you guys the truck, and then we'll jump back on here, talk about kind of our goals and plans with the truck and kind of what we're going to see, and then it'll lead all into the next episode, and we'll start getting to cutting and all that fun jazz. Building a truck. Alright, well there's you guys' little montage of the truck. I'll kind of go up more and close and personal with it. So originally this truck is a TE Designs cage kit that we did. It's fully 360 TIG welded. All the way around, all the tops are 360 welded. It's been sitting, so everything's kind of rusted out, but we got plates on, those are all TIG welded. Basically the whole entire cab cage is all TIG welded. There's the big holes from dropping the cage actually down to be able to weld the tops and shove it back up. Just some energy seats, stock dash that's kind of haggardly chopped in there, but it works. Kind of gets the gist of that. Winner's gate shifter self-tappered right to the cab, so that's been pretty solid. Real kind of just bone basics in here, kind of just all gutted out minus the stock dash, and then did a quick release steering wheel on it forever ago. Grab handles, I think these are gonna go. We might cut these out. Kind of got some new ideas, or tie into these, possibly get rid of the dash, do a fiberglass dash. Door skins didn't fit because of this tube right here, so we just took them off, 86 that whole idea. So we'll end up probably building a set of sheet metal door panels actually for this. And then obviously, we'll get rid of the speakers. We don't need those. Get rid of the factory, pretty much all that stuff's gonna go. That's pretty much kind of it for the inside right now. It does have a Raptor one-piece glass conversion on it that I picked up super cheap, but I mean, it's pretty haggard, to be honest with you guys, and trying to fix this is really just not even worth it. So might end up scrapping this idea and just buying a new one-piece, probably Gen 2 Raptor style from McNeil. Up front, pretty basic, just some basic tie-in tubes, kind of a simple engine cage. There's the coilover bypass combo. They're 10-inch by 2.5s, and then 3 tube bypasses. Kind of originally when I built this truck, probably 5 or 6 years ago now at this point, I did all this stuff first. I didn't cage it at the time, so that's kind of it's kind of a loose end. It's not really tied into the cage at all. It's just tied in on the frame with one point here, one point on the other side. There's a point right there in the center. This kind of wonky looking X, and then basically up there in the front where the radiator attaches to. I think when I left off with this, I was kind of building the bumper out for it, looks like. So we're, obviously none of that's finalized welded, so we'll just cut all that stuff out and restart. The kit is a Blitzkrieg race kit with Dana 44s, and I believe Willwoods, I want to say. Yeah, they're on there. KMC's 5/8 drilled, or my bad, methods. And then these are just some standard methods. The rear is 5 by 4.5, front's 5 by 5.5. Never got around to get new rims for this, so that's gonna happen too. Stock fuel tank, absolutely terrible. We're gonna get rid of that. These shocks were in place of a set of bypasses that I had and sold, so I just threw these in here. And long time ago I threw these on, and obviously that's not right, so I'm missing quite a bit of up travel there. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but made all this stuff. That was kind of an afterthought later on down the road. Thought it'd be a good idea to put them in, and it actually made it worse because it's just riding on the bump stops basically at that point. I got a trans cooler, a CBM, to keep that C4 pretty dialed as far as temp wise goes. You can cruise this thing on the freeway, 75, and it just holds at 160, 170. Kind of did a little weird back bumper thing, whatever you want to call this, I guess. Spare tire bumper. I don't know. It's going. Pretty much all this cage work back here, including up there on the cab, is going to go away. Get rid of these shocks. The bumps we'll probably keep. And then the 9-inch is going to come out. We're going to do some stuff to that because I had originally cut half of the truss out to run the U-bolt delete kit. And it wasn't really smart of me to do that, so we're gonna fix all that stuff. Willwoods in the back. Pretty basic, honestly. Prerunner setup. It did its job, did what it needed to do back then. But I think it's time to kind of revamp everything. For this next portion of this truck, we're gonna keep it leaf sprung, just for I don't really have the time right now to really back half this thing. I do run a full-time business, so it's kind of one of those things you just do on the side. We're gonna try and get it ready for winter this year to go play with King of the Hammers, go out in the desert, go do kind of whatever, a little fun truck deal. I think, let's see, the exhaust, we're gonna build a new one. That thing is absolutely clapped. It's kind of a piece together by factory exhaust and whatever worked at the time. There's the C4 up in there. Stock case, but it's all Colane internals. As far as I know, I think it's believe it's all pretty much fully built. Got custom work inside of it, custom machining. 2-piece drive shaft that I had TAD do for me. Ford 9-inch out of the Econoline. So it's the wider one. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple setup, I would say. We'll think about probably adding some bump stops in the front here, and then I think on the shocks themselves, we're gonna get the extended rod ends, so we can kind of shove everything up higher, kind of get that gap taken up there, and we'll do more plate work and kind of less tube work, I'm thinking. Probably do something better than this filter setup right here, kind of figure out what we can do with that. And then yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just a basic overview of all this stuff. We're gonna keep it pretty much all 100% TIG welded. That was kind of what I originally kind of started on the truck. There's some, you know, MIG welding stuff there, but pretty much all of it's all TIG welded for majority of the part. I'd say probably about 95% of the truck's all TIG welded. Like I said, running Dana 44s, made these little slugs and just burn them in there so I can get rid of the 4-wheel drive selector. So nothing too fancy there. I believe there's Solo Motorsports 5/8 stud conversion deal that they have. And I think too what we'll do is, it's on 37s right now. I think I want to go to 30, or my bad, it's on 35s. I want to go to 37s. So we'll probably end up getting rid of these Toyos and get some 37s. We're gonna pull the LT kit off of the truck and actually probably cut the tabs off, redo all that stuff. I want to beef up the spindles a little bit more. You know, probably do some plate work right there on the tire rod. Get all of it sandblasted and powder coated, or you know, steel it or something like that. Kind of clean everything up here. Check out the weld washers. You know, just a bunch of stuff. Eventually, I want to build a wrap up the overview of the truck. Plans and goals is we're gonna try and get this thing together for King of the Hammers for 26. It's gonna be kind of a stretch, but I think it's feasible. So we're gonna kind of just go with that. I got a chalkboard and all that stuff kind of set up already with all the things that we need to buy, all the steps to get to that, and you know, really think about the processes we're gonna do to execute the goals that we're gonna try and achieve with the truck. Like I said before, we're gonna keep it a leaf sprung truck. We're gonna get some bigger shocks for the back, preferably like a 3.5 or a 4-inch by 14 or 16. If we do 14s, we can just get the extended rod in and kind of help push everything up a little bit higher if we need to. But yeah, it's basically gonna be it. We're just gonna kind of start getting into it. The next episode, I'll be able to start getting the truck all torn apart. We'll start cutting some stuff off and kind of mapping out where all the tubes are gonna land. Right now the truck's all constructed out of 1.75" on the back half, so we might do 2-inch just to kind of beef it all up and kind of match what's in the cab, because all the cab stuff is 2-inch with 1.75" tie-ins. So you know, let's kind of make it all look a little more uniform. And then, like I said before, we're gonna keep the truck TIG welded. So yeah, I know it takes more time, but it's something that I personally like to do. Even in my own business aspect, we don't really do a whole lot of MIG welding. We're really good at it, as you've probably seen on the bump stop towers and stuff like that. But it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. You know, when you look at it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, the whole truck's TIG welded. You know, instead of a backyard built Prerunner that's, you know, cobbled together kind of with some basically bird shit welds. So yeah, I think that'll pretty much wrap up this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Comment down below what you guys would like to see, or if there's anything that you guys want to go into more detail. And I'm gonna try my best to get pretty detailed videos on how I do the stuff, or the steps. So I do plan on doing a lot of sheet metal work in the back of the truck too. So we'll kind of, you know, touch base with that when we start moving along on everything. But yeah, so we'll catch you guys in episode 2, and we're gonna keep going from there.